You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day. The Miami Dolphins lose to the San Francisco 49ers 33-17 in a game which I'm still struggling to see or to work out if the scoreline reflected the 60 minutes or whether the scoreline by the end kind of got a bit out of hand and the game was a lot closer than it actually was. We'll dive into the game, but Mr. Charlie Touche, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Woo! Long time ago, Kadeem, we used to have set times and days, I guess, kind of, to record the podcast. And we didn't always record right after the games. And recently we started, well, I don't know if we started, but recently we have been recording right after the game, get live reaction. Maybe that started this year. I can't remember. But, boy, it's hard to be a professional here on this microphone. It's hard, man, after this loss. And if you're listening to this episode, we are recording right away after the 33-17 loss in San Fran. Bro, you would think Trent Sherfield takes a Jalen Waddle route slant to the house, 75 yards on the first snap. First snap, right?
Yeah, first snap.
First snap, first pass, first play to the house. It felt like, oh, I like where this is going, right? And right away, I felt like this was going to be the type of game where what I thought it would be. It's going to be a tough one. I didn't think we're going to route them up like we did in 2020, but it was still comfortable. It was not comfortable. It was still like, oh, I like this. I wasn't sold that we would win it. Like, oh, we're going to run through them. When you seen that 75-yard house call, what did you think, Kadeem?
Have you seen the first Black Panther movie?
I have.
So do you know when Kilgore and Black Panther are fighting and Michael B. Jordan's character is like, "Is this your king? Is this your king?" Like, first play, 75-yard touchdown. I'm like, this is the best defense in the league. Like, this is your defense. Like, we said it on the preview episode. The 49ers defense has played essentially one top 5, top 10 offense and got beat for 44. So I was like I knew it wasn't going to be that easy, but I was like, yeah, Tua's like MVP. And then, yeah, I think the game went through the highest of heights and lowest of lows, and it's kind of like, again, we said it in the last few episodes. There was a worry about this 49ers team, how good they were. You reckon they're going to probably win the NFC or at least get to that late in the playoffs, and then you look at who they played and you go, I ain't scared of the 49ers. And this game was that. Jimmy G goes out, which we now know is a season-ending injury. You never want to see that, a full recovery to him. But one play, one touchdown, it's like, yeah, we got this. I'm not expecting a blowout, but I'm expecting another game in which the Dolphins can pull Tua in the fourth quarter and go, you know what, enjoy yourself. But wasn't to be.
So Kadeem just told you guys, Jimmy Garoppolo gets injured during the game, early in the game, and turns out it's a broken foot. And the pride of Iowa State University, Brock Purdy, comes in, and you're thinking the 49ers are down to their third string quarterback. Third string quarterback. There is no way we're going to lose to the third string quarterback, Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. No way imaginable we're going to lose this game now. You might start feeling as good as you felt during that Trent Sherfield touchdown. Like, oh, I like it. What the Chargers looking like next week? That's why we have a podcast, Kadeem, and that's why we're not on the field, because I was already looking at the rest of the schedule. I'm like, oh, not necessarily, but still. Brock Purdy comes in, Kadeem, and you remember, well, maybe, yeah, I want to say you remember. You remember when the Miami Dolphins had Ryan Tannehill, and I want to say he played 7 seasons in Miami. Could have been 6, but I thought it might have been 7.
I think it was 7.
Ryan Tannehill played 7 seasons in Miami, Kadeem, and for the first 5.5 seasons, the whole fan base was like, I think he's the guy. I think he could be the guy. Maybe he's good. I think he's decent. And not only the fan base, it was like the national consensus on Ryan Tannehill was, is he good? He's not bad. It was like the biggest question mark for so long. And that probably told you what you needed to know about Ryan Tannehill. He's not going to lose you games. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But he's not. He's just the middle of the road quarterback, bro. That's all he would ever be, is a middle of the road quarterback. That's it. He's not the bottom tier quarterback. He's just in the middle, consistently in the middle. Today I had a thought, Kadeem. Unlike the consensus with Ryan Tannehill, I was not in on Tannehill. I was like, I can't do this. I need something better than Tannehill. And this was early. I was early out on Tannehill. The reason I brought up Tannehill was because that's where I'm at with Josh Boyer. What do we got with Josh Boyer? Is it because people are hurt and he doesn't have what he has to run the scheme? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe Josh Boyer's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if he had Brandon Jones and Byron Jones? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's like third and 1. No, it could have been 4th and 1. I don't know. It was either 3rd and 1. San Fran has the ball. It was 3rd and 2. That's exactly what it was. 3rd and 2 on the goal line. If we get this stop, they have to kick a field goal. I think this is right before halftime. You see what you guys get when we record straight after the game. So right before halftime, San Fran is on the goal line. It is 3rd and 2. It is the last play of the half. If they don't get this, they're going to kick a field goal. And Josh Boyer draws up a man under concept on the 2-yard line, and I almost have an aneurysm. Like, there's no way you're drawing up this concept on the 2-yard line. For those unfamiliar with man under, it's exactly what the concept says. Everyone's playing man underneath the safeties. All right. So why you do that on the 2-yard line, I have no idea. But that put Bradley Chubb one-on-one with Kittle. And I'm like, why would you do this? Yeah, Bradley Chubb ain't going to have time. They don't have no timeouts. They're not going to run ball here. They're going to get it off quick, so you're not going to rush the quarterback. You might as well stay in coverage. But you put him on one-on-one with Kittle, and here comes Christian McCaffrey out the backfield, wide open, Kadeem. I'm like, this is the easiest 2-yard play you're gonna get ever. And you can't even put that on the players, because that's the concept of the scheme. That was the scheme. That wasn't, oh, someone blew it. No, someone schemed this up the wrong way. And throughout the whole game, Kadeem, the defense were in positions, they weren't in the best position to succeed. And I didn't appreciate that from Josh Boyer. But I don't know how I feel about Josh Boyer yet. I know how I felt about him when I seen that, and then I'm thinking, but what if he had everybody? What if he had everyone to work with? I'll let you get in here because this is going to turn into a therapy session if I keep going.
Yeah, so to let the listeners in, both new and old, into how Charlie and I used to discuss Miami Dolphin games. It was throughout the game, sending 2, 3, 4, 5-minute voice notes back and forth all throughout the game. Now we don't do that. We save everything, for the cameras, for Go Time Dolphins. Share, like, and subscribe to hear our conversations. As we have them now. I now had these conversations with Drakey. Drakey is the one who does the photoshops of me looking swole like The Rock, Charlie looking like Kevin Hart, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going back and forth with Drakey, and I'm going, the defense hasn't played badly, but they haven't played well. There's certain situations where, they hold the 49ers at one point to, 4th and 1. And Brock Purdy goes for a quarterback sneak and Zach Sealer stops him. And then the second effort, he gets a first down. And you watch it back.
Bro, I'm sorry. I cut you off, though. And you was about to say when you watch it back. And you was probably about to say what I was going to say. But it was like not even a second effort. It was like after the second effort, too. Like the play was almost stopped. You know what I'm saying? But continue. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
But yeah, it's just like Zach Sealer has done everything right to get the stop. Brock Purdy's gone a bit more. But the annoyance of that play is Eric Crow not diving in to make sure. And even, friend of the podcast is in the backfield, hand in the air. We got to stop. And then he's like, and then he gets it. It's like, finish the play. Like, so in that situation, if we get the stop there, we're going, Josh Boyer, you've done what you need to do. You put the ball back into his hands. Even, that touchdown to Christian McCaffrey right before half. The play before is a throw to Christian McCaffrey by Brock Purdy, and McCaffrey drops it. So I'm there going, okay, the chances are with like 7 seconds left, no timeouts, it's going to be a quick throw. And it's probably going to be the Christian McCaffrey at the backfield. Someone has to be on the guy. Like, has to. And no one's on him, easy touchdown. That being said, the 49ers get the ball after half, and the Dolphins stop them. It's like, do you know what? Thank you, because we're still in this game. We haven't even mentioned Tua yet, but we're in this game down 7. And that's what I can agree with you. It's like the score, like in the fourth quarter with like minutes to go, we're down 6 in a game in which Tua has stunk the place out. And part of that is because the Dolphins defense have not done their job, but they've done okay. The flip side to that is that they made Brock Purdy look like an MVP candidate because he was just doing what he wanted. And it's like, guys, seriously. Now, I know people will rightfully call some of the bad officiating. There was a tripping call on Melvin Ingram, which wasn't a tripping call.
I thought it was a trip. I thought it was a trip. Yeah. I mean, I only seen it, we'll watch it back, but I thought after just once and then a second, I thought it was a trip. So
you can see like Melvin Ingram's leg is out, but it's caught on a 49ers player's leg, so he can't move his leg. So just my opinion. You might watch it back and go, you know what? Actually, it's a triple call. Right. I might be able to find a clip as we're talking. There was a few, DPI that you're there going, not quite sure on that, but essentially, like I said, with minutes left, we're down 6, driving down the field. And then the game just gets away from us.
All right, hold on. Let's start because we're getting too far.
Yeah.
We're getting too far. So I kind of want to go all the way back to the 4th down where it lacked effort. Zach Sealer stops Brock Purdy behind the line of scrimmage. It is dead in the water. And you thought you were gonna see Landon Roberts, Bake Show.
I believe Landon Roberts left the game at halftime with a calf injury.
No, it was still 11 Roberts Holmes. I'm pretty sure it was Atlanta. If
I'm
I had to bet,
99%
I'm telling you, I'm a better man. I lost some bets, but if I had to bet, I'm pretty sure it was Elandon Roberts. It was Elandon Roberts, Bake Show, Javon Holland, and Eric Rowe. And I'm like, oh, we stood him up. Bring the reinforcements. And it was it felt like a scrimmage, like a scrimmage play, like we're not going full contact or full speed, and everybody just stopped. Maybe that has something to do with the rules of, hey, I don't want to pile on and then someone get a penalty, maybe, but you gotta finish. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't finish, bro. So here we go. We're talking about a 4th and 1 that Kyle Shanahan went 4th and 1 on, or on it on fourth down. I'm watching the game with Bert. Shout out to Bert. We're at we're in Orlando still, and we're watching the game out at a wing spot. And I'm like, Bert, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm going for it on every 4th down. I'm playing with house money. After you scored that touchdown at halftime and you went up 7 and you get the ball back, you get the double dip. Like, yo, I'm going for it all the time if I'm Kyle Shanahan. What does he do? Goes for it all the time if you're Kyle Shanahan. So Charlie Touche said he was a betting man, and I thought I seen number 52 in there. Did I not, Kadeem?
You did, and I was going to say 52 is there, so fair play. I was wrong.
So anyone listening to the audio version, we have the video up of the 4th down stop. Brock Purdy is stopped 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and they only needed 8 inches, but he stopped 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and everyone's standing around just looking, bro. So we're watching the video, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned it, but we're watching the video on YouTube. That's why we're going through the play. We have it on the loop, and it was just, we stopped them. We had them, and we let them off the hook. So talking about 4th downs, Kadeem, Kyle Shanahan goes for it on almost every 4th down except like 1. And Mike McDrip, Coach Mike McDaniel, bro, has a 4th down with 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter on inside his own 20, 4th and 1, and we're down 6. And you're thinking, we're going to punt the ball away here. There's 8 minutes left. All we need is a touchdown. If you get stopped inside your own 10-yard line or inside your own 20-yard line with 8 minutes left and you're down 6, you kind of cost your team this game. Kind of. But do you know what kind of trust you need to have in your players? You need to have in your team to know, yo, I'm going for it on 4th and 1, bro. So it felt like Gamblers Anonymous out there on all the 4th downs that they both teams went for. So we didn't get it done, Kadeem. And if I'm being honest with you, I feel like we picked up right where we left off against Houston second half. I think, and this is an unofficial stat, don't take this to the bank, Teron Armstead got hurt in Houston in the Houston game, and Tua dropped back 11 more times after Teron Armstead was injured. And out of those 11 times, he was touched 6 out of the 11 times. That's an unofficial stat. It could be anywhere 6 to 8, but that's how many times he was touched after the Teron Armstead injury. And if you remember, that game was out of hand, and we were like, yo, why is he kind of still in the game? And Kadeem, it kind of felt like that from the beginning of the game, even post, Trent Sherfield to the house. It still felt like, to me, Tua was unrecognizable. This guy did not even look like Tua. Like he felt like he was rushing. He was off target the entire game. Like if there was a game, I said this last year for the Tennessee game. I'm like, bro, you picked the worst time to have your worst game. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is not the worst time to have his worst game. There's never a good time to have your worst game. But I think this game was worse than the Tennessee game. Am I tripping? It's talking about Tua. Do you think this was Tua's worst game?
Yeah, because I think either rightfully or wrongfully, you could say that elements down in Tennessee weren't ideal. This was, you have, in that possible way, you have no excuse for the way you're totally inaccurate today. In my opinion, no excuse whatsoever.
Balls were high, balls were off the body, balls were behind receivers, and I gotta believe Coach McDaniel and the Dolphins knew that we weren't going to have all the time in the world. Joey, I don't even know which Bosa brother, Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa gets home a couple times, and we got to see his lackluster sack celebration that I don't really appreciate. You know what I'm saying? He gets home a couple times. Tua is hit unofficially. Can we get stats for how many times Tua was hit or pressured? Because it felt like every time he backed up, he was under pressure. So I will be fair, and I'm gonna be real. Shout out to Shell on the right tackle. And 3 weeks ago, it was, I think the offensive line is straight. Do we even need a right tackle? That was the conversation. And I told somebody, I'm like, bro, you don't have enough linemen. Yes, you like if the season ended today, go get more linemen. You know what I'm saying? Go get the best linemen. And he's like, well, why? Shell's doing good. I'm like, yeah, Shell's doing good. But what happens when one person gets hurt? What's the line look like? What happens when two people get hurt? What's the line look like? You know what I'm saying? So here we are, Kadeem, playing with 2/5 of the offensive line. Yes, Shell has been pretty good, but now Teron Armstead is out. Eichenberg is out. Austin Jackson is out. And those three actually started the season. So you're still playing with 2/5 of the offensive line. Though, again, I want to reiterate that Shell has been playing well. So now we're playing with this banged up offensive line, bro. And the hope is you can get up ahead on this game to where the pride of Iowa State University, Brock Purdy, can't just hand the ball off. You know what I'm saying? And we can never get ahead of these boys. So now Tua he missed Jeff Wilson on a wheel route where it hit Jeff Wilson in the hands. The ball was a badly thrown ball. However, it did hit him in the hands. But if Tua puts that ball where it's supposed to go, it's a touchdown. It's like a 70-yard touchdown, 60, 70-yard wheel route touchdown. Man, bro. So yeah, for those who's listening and those are Tua apologists, like I can sit here and say, yo, Tua was impatient and he was rushed, so he didn't get his feet set. He wasn't set, and he was just throwing, like, basically this is a term that football uses, seeing ghosts. Like, yo, there's no pressure there, and you're getting rid of it too soon. You can relax a little bit, but I can understand why, because if again, the broken chair analogy that I gave, like, this is not the same offensive line that we had a couple of weeks ago that was a stout offensive line. So to me, I think this was Tua's worst game. I think he wants, bro. There was a point where I think he was like 1 for 8.
He scored the opening touchdown. Then I think missed his next 5, and then made another one.
I think 2 for 9. I think I seen maybe.
It was ugly. So I'm looking at the Fox Sports report, and it's got a paragraph here that says, but when Tua threw his first and second interception, and the game was still tight, the 49ers had recorded only 4 quarterback hits. So when he threw those, so I don't know the end stat, but when he threw back-to-back interceptions, he'd only been hit 4 times. And they're saying he faced some pressure, but nothing he hadn't seen before. And I think we've seen 3 or 4 interceptions before. It's nothing new to him, every quarterback for his interceptions. The one thing we've seen is after interception, Tua deadly. Like, it's like he's like, I messed up, drive down his field, touchdown. We had former Dolphins wide receiver, Ernie McDuffie a few weeks ago, and we're talking about how how money Tua is on third down. I don't think that the Dolphins made a single third down conversion today, and if they did, it was very late in the game. It was an uncharacteristic off day for the Miami Dolphins offense. There's a video clip of Mike McDaniel during the game saying, it's my fault after a certain play. Both McDaniel and Tua in their major availability both said, it's on them. Tua spoke about miscommunications throughout the game. McDaniel said, he's going to go back and clean things up so that doesn't happen again, all that kind of stuff. But what I love about the team, what I love about Tua, there's a bit, I think, of the second interception, where I think Tua's talking to Tawan Armstead, and he does his face is like, yeah, I'm good. Like if you're listening on audio, you can't see my face, but it was like a mean face. It's like, yo, I've got this. And the next drive, touchdown, and that throw to Hill was
Tyreek Hill.
And
so
again,
go ahead.
I was saying again, I'm there going, like, this is your king. This is a 49ers defense that hadn't given up a single second half points in like week 7, and they got beat that easily. And I'm there going, okay, we're now down 6. We've got this game. Like this is like, you've now got fourth quarter Tua. He's gonna start cooking. Brock Purdy's gonna fall apart, and we've got this game. And yeah,
it's week 13, right?
Yeah, week 13.
It's week 13 of an NFL season. No one in the NFL can say, oh, well, we didn't have this. And, oh, well, this is hurt on my team. Guess what? It's the NFL. It's week 13. This is going to happen. So we don't get to sit here and say, well, we had all our starting pieces on the O-line. This would look like a different game. Which, yeah, of course it would. But if Jimmy Garoppolo would have played, who knows what it would have looked like. So there's no one can say, well, if we had this and we didn't have that. Like, nah, bro, there's no excuses. You cannot allow Brock Purdy to win a football game. You can't allow Brock Purdy, the third string quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, literally the last person selected in the NFL draft, to win a football game against the Miami Dolphins. You cannot do that. And that's what happened, bro. And this was the first time. This was the first time I seen Coach McDaniel visibly angry. Ever. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Now, you may have seen it before. There may have been times where he actually was, and I didn't catch it. But what is 4th and 1? Here goes another 4th down, or it could have been 4th and 3, but 4th down. Since we already went for it, I think it was 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. Since we went for it on 4th down inside our own 20 with 8 minutes left, we're driving down the field. And Kadeem, I gotta be honest with you, I think we're gonna punch it in. We're going to go up 24-23. We're going to leave them 2 minutes on the clock, and the MVP chants are about to come out. And guess what? You know what else, Kadeem? We're going to be number 1 seed in the AFC because the Chiefs lost, right? So it's like, oh, this is it. It's a movie. Like, just watch the book be written. You know what I'm saying? So we're driving down the field, and the Trent Sherfield, what they call an incomplete pass. Did you think that was an incomplete pass?
I don't think so, but I can see why they gave it. Like,
but it was called a completion, though.
Yeah, and to me, and the replays, it looked like to me the ball bounces up off his hand, not the ground.
It looked like his hand was underneath the ball. But moving forward, so Trent Sherfield catches this pass, and 49ers challenge it, and I'm like, cool. Y'all not going to have no more challenges after this. I was so sure about it, Kadeem. I got up and went to the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, they just wasted a challenge. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming back and we're going to be good. Turns out, no, they didn't give it to us. So we go for it. We convert. So they still have a challenge available. Now we come into another 4th down in the 49ers territory, maybe around the 40-yard line. I cannot remember. And I tell Bert, this one's going to Gesicki.
Yep.
And it goes to Gesicki. And in the state of transparency, if Tua throws a better ball, puts it where it's supposed to go, we're not talking about this. But everyone's allowed a bad game. And if I'm being real with you, I said this on this podcast. I like Tua's worst game is not going to look as bad as some of these other guys' worst games. And Tua's worst game is still better than half of the NFL. Like, G. And y'all can at me if you want, but it's the truth. So Tua throws the ball to Gesicki, and we have the helmet catch 2.0 and the 49ers challenge it. Did you think that was a completion, Kadeem?
At first, yes. On replay, I was again. Even on replay, I was like it's on his helmet, and like his knees are down, he's out of bounds, and like it's a catch. But again, I can see what that one. I can see more why they didn't give it, but I still thought like the Dolphins. Like I still thought that after the NFL and referee gods screwed us over when Brian Flores challenged against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, you owe us for that. You're gonna we're gonna make it right and we're even. And the NFL gods were like, nope, not a catch.
So Gesicki ends up having what is called an incompletion. The helmet catch 2.0 is for not. 49ers get the ball back, and I'm be extremely real with you, Kadeem. I did not think we were going to stop them. I'm like, I think it's a wrap. I'm not one of those, oh, it's over, guys. But I am like, I feel like I'm very rational. I feel like I'm very realistic. And I was like, once we gave the ball back, I didn't think we were going to get it back the way we needed to. And I still think San Fran's playing with house money, and they could just go for it on fourth down. Like, why would you ever not go for it on fourth down against the Dolphins if you're Kyle Shanahan? So we don't get we do get the ball back, but that's after a field goal or a touchdown. Did they score a touchdown on that drive? I think they scored a touchdown on that drive. And then we threw the pick. Whatever. It was a lot. The game was over though. And it was all bad. It was apparent and evident that the Miami Dolphins were not going to win this game. And unfortunately, we fall to 8-4.
8-4, yeah.
8-4. And bro, I'm upset, Kadeem. Like, I'm mad at the Dolphins. I don't get mad at the Dolphins often. I get mad at like the Dolphins front office. You know what I'm saying? But I'm mad today because there's no way you can allow Brock Purdy to beat you, bro. There's no way you can do that with everything that's on the line, with everything that's at stake. And if I'm being real with you, we kind of didn't even discuss some of the hits that Tua took. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, can my dog get a little bit of time, a little bit of, you seen what happened when he had time when we hit Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? And even that play, it looked like we were going for the effort play. He's out there somewhere, and we couldn't have time to even throw the effort play. You feel me? So it was not good, man. I think Tua played his worst game. I think this is the defense identity now, honestly. Like, they do great and they do horrible in the same game. Like, I think that's what it is. Then Josh Boyer, I don't know how I feel about Josh Boyer. Is he a good D coordinator? Should we move on from him? Even if we win the Super Bowl, we can move on from Josh Boyer. Like, I don't know, bro. I really don't. So I do think we weren't supposed to lose this game, and we did. Like, this game was gift wrapped for us. No Jimmy Garoppolo. Touchdown on the first play of the game. If you stop them before halftime, you're in a good place. If you hold them to 3 before halftime, you're in a good place. We couldn't get the stops when we needed the stops.
Yeah, like, but I think even we gave up the touchdown before half. They couldn't double dip because after half time we got to stop. So they're going, okay, we've got the ball back, we're down 7, and I said on the preview show, you have to give credit to the 49ers defense for what they've done so far, because, you know, even against the worst NFL quarterback, they're still going to have a few plays like, okay, garbage time, touchdown, all that kind of stuff. The 49ers defense doesn't allow you to do that. They play sound, fundamental, defense. But I'm looking at that game going, in the nicest way, in my opinion, in the nicest way possible, we beat ourselves. Tua's inaccuracy, I can't even tell you how many drives, how many points we could have got. If two like I think Waddle had one catch the entire game, but he was targeted and overthrown multiple times, like multiple. Yes, there were drops. I think Alec Ingold had a drop, but there was way too many times where it's just like,
Even the Alec Ingold drop though, Kadeem, that ball's supposed to be on Alec Ingold's body. So
yeah,
when I say on his body, so there's different type of passes, right? I'm sure we've heard these terminologies: back shoulder pass, right? So when a back shoulder pass is when the quarterback intentionally throws it behind the receiver on purpose. That's what a back shoulder pass is. So the reason you throw the back shoulder pass is because you and your receiver are on point. You know, all right, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw you open, per se. Now, when you lead a receiver, it should be led for a reason. If you lead a receiver on a back shoulder pass, it's probably going to be intercepted. So there's another terminology that says put it on his body. And that ball to Alec Ingold should have been on his body as opposed to out in front of him. Maybe you can make the argument that maybe it was supposed to be like a swing and that's communication. But if you ask me, just looking at that play, it looked like it was supposed to be on his body. Alec Ingold drops it. Same thing with Jeff Wilson. If you lead him on that one, that's a touchdown, bro. Man, yeah, go ahead, bro.
I was just gonna say, it's we praise Tua to the high heavens when he deserves it, but we're not gonna sit here and say if buts and maybes because again we're missing three starters from the offensive line that started the season, and if I'm being honest, Mike, like I thought back before the game, they literally mentioned we're missing Teron Armstead, Fender Podcast, Austin Jackson, and Liam Eichenberg, and I was like, I completely forgot about Liam Eichenberg because left guard, in my opinion, hadn't been an issue since it's been out. So yes, we're missing three starters, but let's be honest, or I said I'm going to be honest. I think Shell has played well at right tackle in Austin Jackson's absence, and Robert Jones had played well at left guard in Liam Eichenberg's absence. So I'm looking at that starting five of today going, we're really missing Teron Armstead because the rest of the guys have performed well given to a time and essentially kept him clean during this win streak. So to cut or to finish my point, yeah, today was a bad game from Tua, and I don't think this team is set up to overcome bad quarterback play, be it from Skylar Thompson, Teddy Bridgewater, or Tua. I just think they're too reliant on this offensive scheme and the quarterback throwing dimes to whoever needs to be open. I guess.
It's funny. While I'm watching the game and I'm assessing what I'm seeing, I'm like, not only is this not only is this Tua's worst game, but we can still win it. I'm like, yo, I've seen worse games from better quarterbacks, whether it be Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, John Elway, like the Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I've seen them throw, bro. Brett Favre is one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, bro. Like he's in my top 5. If I'm being real with you, Brett Favre's in my top 5, and he was on his own like football life of Brett Favre or something like that. And he was like, yeah, there's one time where I threw a pick, and the very next snap, I threw another pick. And he's like, never did I think that I had to be careful with this ball, with the ball the third time I went out there. He's like, nah, I'm going to do me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the best of them have bad games and they overcome it and win some of them same games that they were terrible in. So while I'm watching, I'm like, this is a testament to how good Tua it really is, because it took us this long to see a game this bad, and it was still better than half the quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion. So we're about to get into the bonus time unless you got something else for us, Kadeem.
It took Tua 13 weeks to have the worst game of his season. 13 weeks. Like, I'm not panicking. It's like, we're good.
And I think unofficially, his record in the past 22 games now will be 19-3. Not games that he started to finish, like total. His record is like 19-3 in the past 22 games. So
I also think the Dolphins' first loss in November and December in like 2 years. Like, and again, we spoke about it in last few episodes. For all the hate that Brian Flores got once he left, this Dolphins team, come the last 2 months of the season, do not lose games. So this is a new thing for the Dolphins over the past few years. But again, is what it is, man. We're gonna suffer losses. It's how we bounce back. That's what's important.
Dolphins fall to 8-4 and lose 33-17 to the San Francisco 49ers and let the 1 seed slip from their fingers as the Chiefs lose to the Bengals. But y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time.
Bro, I hate losing, bro.
I was thinking when you mentioned how last season you missed quite a few games due to illness. I was like, yeah, you haven't been on the podcast.
Nah.
Like, yeah, you missed that entire.
I was not there for the losing streak, bro.
And
matter of fact, I might have been responsible. Like, dang, had I been there, maybe we would have won because I missed the whole losing streak, bro.
But realistically, you being on the podcast and doing like defeats, you must have done about one. This must be like your fifth in the space of like 12 months. The Tennessee game ended last year.
That was it. That I haven't lost much either, bro. Hey, me and Tua looking real good right now, bro. I had many losses.
And Tua was asked in the press conference, this is your first loss, as a starter in the game you finished, and technically Tua didn't finish the game because they pulled him.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so like it would be pedantic, but Tua said, he lost games in this organization. It's going to happen. I have a question to ask you, but before I ask you the question, I will say this. The national media have been waiting for this game from Tua and this loss. So I advise, just listen. Don't listen to the clown. Just where possible, avoid, the NFL shows and stuff like that. And it's one like Tua has to own it, I guess, because given how bad he played. But what you're gonna hear all week was, "I told you so." Tua even got outplayed by Brock Purdy. Tua, like you're going to hear it this week. It is what it is.
I would have preferred that we have like a healthy O-line at minimum. So if we take this L, then we can assess the team. So I have a San Fran 49er. My friend is a San Fran fan, a 49er fan, and we're real good friends. So we were really looking forward to this game. And I've been on record saying I think the Super Bowl is going to be Niners versus Dolphins. And now with Jimmy Garoppolo out, I don't think Niners are going to make it to the Super Bowl no more. But while we're watching this game, I'm one of those people, Kadeem. I don't talk crap. I'm not a crap talking person, right? One, and this is the only reason why I don't talk crap. Because they say if you can't take it, don't dish it, and I can't take it, bro. Like, don't come my way talking crap, bro. Like, I'm not built for people talking crap to me. You know what I'm saying? I'll block y'all out. Like, yo, you're done forever. You know what I'm saying? So I can't do it. So I don't talk crap. You know what I'm saying? So during the game, Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, and I think he thought game was over. Oh man, one ball with the touchdown to the crib, and now Jimmy's hurt. Like, it's over. And I was kind of deflated. I like, dang, I wanted to see what we had. I wanted to see what this game was going to be. I wanted to see what we looked like. I wanted to see what they looked like. I wanted to have a gauge. Not only that, this was like a UFC fight, a championship fight. Like, dang, boy, we waited for this fight for like a year and a half. And then you get the two fighters in the octagon and someone tears the ACL 40 seconds in. Like, no, that's not how we wanted to see this fighter win. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to see what would happen, what would happen while they competed against each other. And we didn't get that. Not only did we get that, we still took an L. And that's even more messed up.
You mentioned UFC. You was at a UFC event on Saturday. Two things. One, USA get knocked out of the World Cup and you walk around in the Argentina shirt. Don't think I didn't see that. Like, I see you, Slick. I see what you're doing there. Like,
I was doing what at the World Cup?
Wearing the Argent. So USA get knocked out of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And you're wearing an Argentina shirt.
What's wrong with that?
Rep USA.
Hold on, King. Listen, hey, can you pull up my Twitter real quick? And there's a video I have on Twitter. And before you play, I'll talk it up. Listen, so I'm in Orlando, Florida right now. I came down for the UFC event. There was a UFC event, Holland versus Thompson. And you guys know I'm a huge UFC fan. Go Time MMA is in the works. And Bert came down, watched the event, and was like, yo, we might as well stay here and watch the Dolphin game versus the Niners. And the US lose in the World Cup. And remember that I told you I didn't think we would win. And honestly, I kind of said on this podcast that I'll bet against them every game. Yes, I'm rooting for the US. Yes, I hope we win. I would like for us to see us get to like the World Cup or the championship or the final, as they say, or semi. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that's ever going to happen in my time. I'm just realistic. I would love to see it. I remember 2010, was it? I think it was 2010 World Cup, Brazil. What's that? Landon Donovan had a stoppage time goal. All right, bro. Yeah, that was the best team that I think I would ever see from the United States men's team. And so, yeah, I root for the U.S. for sure, 100%. I hope we win. But don't get it twisted. There would have been a conflict of interest if the U.S. would have won and played Argentina. Like, bro, I'm a huge Messi supporter, bro. Like, I think Messi is one of the best of all time. I also think Messi has some of the greatest first touches ever. I think he's phenomenal. So, yeah, when it comes to ball control, too. So, anyway, I love that. Yeah, I had a Argentina jersey on, but it was more so for Messi. I should have got one of his other teams, and I could have wore a Messi jersey. But yeah, I want to see Argentina win it all because I think Messi has to win it all to be solidified. Now, as far as the UFC event goes, there's a video on my Twitter, and I'm at the fight, and I see Karen Bryant is one of the announcers or one of the commentators for the UFC. And she was walking in and she was like right next to me. I'm like, yo. And I look at her, I'm like, yo, you feel me? And she, you know what? Yeah. And she was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, chill. So I didn't, light the torches like, hey, Karen Bryant, let me get a picture. So I didn't do it because she didn't look like she really was receptive of it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll let her live. So if you're looking at the YouTube version of this podcast, you see me and someone else in this picture, right? It's actually a video. So I'm in line, right? And I see this guy walk past me. And before I tell you who this guy is, and if you listen to the audio version, we have the video up. We're about to play it. So we have this guy walk past me, and I'm like, yo, is that Renato Moicano? Right? He's a fighter in the UFC, obviously, right? So I'm like, yo, I think that's Moicano. And Moicano is like, I rock with Moicano pretty heavy. He has like his punchline, the little quote that he that he's rocking with, right? So he's walking pretty brisk. He's pretty fast, right? I'm like, dang, I can't. I don't know if that was him, one, because it was pretty fast. And then like two, I was kind of in line. So I'm like, I'm not going to go chase him down. The line's pretty long, takes forever. I opt out. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go this way where Moicano, who I think is Moicano, walk and see if I can find dude. And I was like, you ever seen a movie, Kadeem, where there's like a scene where the killer walks by and then someone's like trying to chase the killer, but he's just walking and he's turning corners, but you're just trying to follow the killer and somehow he keeps like walking away. It's like, it's wild. That's how I felt like trying to hunt down this killer here. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, boy, that's Moicano. So I start walking back to my seat and turns out he's following me. Now I turn around and there he goes, just like a killer would in the movie. I turn around, I'm like, hey, bro, Moicano wants money. And he's cheesing. And he was like, yeah, Moicano wants money. And then that's how we got this video. If you could play it for everybody real quick. It's cool.
Let's go. Moicano wants money, bro. Let's go. Let's go. Moicano wants money, bro. Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Moicano wants money, bro. Let's go.
So shout out to Renato Moicano. He's from Brazil. That was pretty cool. Now he has to be a part of one of my favorite UFC fighters forever.
I'm glad you got to meet him. And I'll end on this. When Messi joins into Miami, you're going to get a Messi shirt.
What? Bruh, I might have season tickets. Bruh, like, let Messi come to Miami, bro. I might have season tickets to enter Miami, bro. Straight up.
You've heard that rumor, yeah?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it on the podcast, but I don't know. You know, it's so long ago. Like anything could happen in between. You know, Beckham owns the team, so you would hope they would bring some star power. It is Miami. That's what Miami does. All the star power. You have to compete with all the other things that there are to do in Miami. So bringing Messi to Miami, bro. Yeah, man. You already know what time it is.